Their smiles were a collection of 5,000 lumen LED light bulbs, bobbing and weaving with a good time, necks swiveling, and every one of them wore their seatbelts like their mamas taught them. Their happy was infectious, y'all, and I caught it, thumping in the middle of my chest as I saddled my dusty red Jeep Wrangler next to their truck on the corner of somewhere. And that place, the traffic light, a big red halting hand telling the world to sit still for at least this moment. I'm an old lady by their standards, but they waved when they saw how I head nodded and mouthed the words, Kung Fu Kenny. Today, the morning news reported 4 dead bodies. Children shot up by another child while they sat at their desks pumping out arithmetic and iambic pentameter, or maybe merely they just watched a wistful sun arc across the grease-smeared school windows, board chins propped by hands, eyes that averted the scribble scrabble of whiteboard, ears that muffled the teacher's drone, or perhaps they thought about college or sex or about how their fathers and mothers can't afford the rent, but mostly they probably just thrummed with the energy of their youth, young brains churning with whatever young thoughts they churned, and then a deep, low bass, or was it a rattle of bullets like a snare drum? I can't remember what the reporter reported about what type of gun the boy used to squeeze a shower of lead from and into the soft, surprised bodies of his classmates. But he shot them dead. And this afternoon, they are still dead. And dead forever, they will remain crystallized in their youth, never to graduate, get a job, lose a job, fall in love, get divorced, raise a dog, lose a dog, go bankrupt, pay their first mortgage, travel to India, seek therapy for their midlife crises, ring in another new year, sing along to their favorite song. Hendrix says, shimmy ya, rock. And he says, then been down so long, lost hope. Then come down so hard I slowed. The boys were bright and alive and happy to breathe, to shine and shout together in unity. Loyalty, loyalty, loyalty. The light turned green, and off they drove with the wave. Not a care in the world, cool as cool teenagers can be, 7 off to the golden shovel, probably playing hooky. I was so glad for them. So grateful for their beautiful boyish buoyancy that I almost cried. Right there. My chest felt about to burst, spilling open all of my joy out and onto the dashboard. Right there, on the corner of somewhere. And that place, they drove off with a wave.
Come on.
Hey y'all, so I'm a teacher. I've been a long-time teacher at the Native American Community Academy. Not the poeta. They call themselves the respite because they're from a res and they spit that hot shit fire. And it's like a respite. You know, poetry provides a respite for shit. But this is actually a group piece that I wrote with my students several years ago. They're all graduated now. They're all old and they see me at bars and shit now. Which, don't be drinking. Okay, get it over. All right. So this is actually a group piece by several of my students. At NACA, we have 64 plus tribal affiliations. So all of Pueblos, this is Indigenous Land Run. I'm sure that we all get our land acknowledgement, but I just want to acknowledge that. And it's an I Come From poem. Raise your hand, raise your right hand in the air if you've ever written an I Come From poem. Keep your hand in the air if you've ever taught an I Come From workshop. All right. Well, I always tell my students, like, yo, if you've written an I Come From poem, they usually raise their right pinky in the air. And I was like, that's okay, because you're always going somewhere. So you're always coming from that place right there. So you can write a gazillion, majillion I Come From poems, because you just keep on moving and snaking if you like. So this is my millionth, gajillionth poem, but it was a group piece. So I honor Taylor, Sierra, and Aaron McKay with this one. So Joy Harjo, Muskogee, Creek Nation, she was a United States Poet Laureate 3 times in a row. She said that the poetry ancestors scattered to all parts of the world, each family of trees, animals, wind, stones, need a poet. I come from, ¿de donde yo soy? I come from the concrete jungles of Los Angeles, the starlit skyline of Paramount and the salty beaches and cool breezes of Venice, California. I come from the glittering desert along the U.S.-Mexico frontera, a militarized border now, más o menos. But before my people crossed to and fro like lovesick palomas, migrating pigeons dizzying su familia sin papeles, porque los papeles no son importantes. I come from Long Beach and LA, Deming, Las Cruces and El Paso, Columbus City, Palomas, and the Bridge of the Americas, Midnight Crossing, Ciudad Juarez, but also Guadalajara, way over there. I come from Gloria y Patricio, Angel y Mio, Alejandra, and the mighty El Gordito, Baby Max. I come from a long lineage of crooked toothed chihuahuas who ferociously guard you with their life. I come from albóndigas on Christmas and tamales on your birthday, bizcochitos with orange juice, and corn con granitas, favorite manteca, snow cap lard from the blue bucket, of course. I come from Bidi Bidi Bam Bam and Paloma Negra, Paloma Negra. I come from Spanglish and street slang, lang paletas and Catholic rosaries, prayers and Sunday morning chisme. I come from La Llorona is gonna get you, and also ay, mira, mano peluda and Yaco Cuy too. I come from the donde yo soy. I come from the sound of laughter and heartbreak, from my mother's salt-soaked eyes crying for my brother, from the brown stuff my tios put in their veins, from cholitos y cholitos rolling their ramplas down Main Street Saturday night cruise. I come from the earth's clay, watching myself bloom into music notes and the prettiest of hummingbirds, olibri, ancient iridescent feathered wheatsits and wheatsits and wheatsits. I come from ceremony and sci-fi novels, comic books in the New Testament. There are too many words that want to gracefully fall from stuttering lips, so they spill and they spill and they spill and they spill and they make a clumsy introduction like Googling how to pronounce Spanish words correctly. The shame of not knowing my mother tongue, fire engine, red ears, and blushing, cheeks burning with embarrassment for not being a true Mexicana, porque ya ves, soy bocha. Years tripping over the ñ, como se dice, tilde, with big, clumsy, Americanized, whitewashed feet because my mother's mouth was washed out with cakes of soap when she spoke that beautiful music of her first language at school, only English. The teacher scolded, slapping and then slapping and then slapping some more her wrists with the lean, mean weapons they made of wooden rulers. I come from de donde yo soy. That one time when my great-grandmother Agustina asked, mija, ¿dónde está tu mamá? I answered, pointing towards the kitchen. Ahí, ella está flipping tortillas en la cocina. I come from a forgotten poem that has too many tongues to keep track of. Language stolen from my mouth. I come from smoky houses, the kind that you can take a deep breath in and say, I'm home and I'm alive and I'm okay. I come from 21 generations of angry women and men removed from their lands. I come from our nations, our retribution, our resilience and revolution. I come from the sound of drums and the buzzing of springtime cicadas, res dogs and res ball, and don't whistle at night or you'll call the skinwalkers. I come from proud native parents, all of my relations. I come from Shiprock and I come from Gallup too. I come from Turtle Island. I am Turtle Island too. I come from the plains people and the lake people too. I come from Yate, Avini, Wopila, Dota, Frek, Shima, and Che, Skoden, Studis, Aho, and kneel down bread too. We come from teachings that hold us together like a clumsy collision of stars. I am beauty, I am supernova, I am irreplaceable. We are the grandchildren of resiliency, the descendants of Carlisle's boarding schools, from bloodlines poisoned by the white man's liquor, but also the power to heal. I am from Tupac and Metallica, from Bone Thugs and Led Zeppelin, from a tribe called Red, now called Hallucination. I am of Navajo blood and colonial binding. From the knowledge of my people, I found a language I call home. I come from, even if home is a bit of a heavy-handed word, I come from, even though sometimes family doesn't mean blood, I come from, loving so much it hurts, growing to love, to love, to love, to love, to love, to love, to sprouting from heartbreak. I come from a mother who has been sewing strength into her skin with a heartstring. If she can make it, then why can't I? I come from four clans of the people. I come from Popeye and the Pueblo Revolt, 1680, of all of our 19 Pueblo relations, Acoma, Cochiti, Zeta, Penis, Luna, Nabe, Oke, Owenge, Icarus, Milwaukee, Sandia, San Felipe, San Ildefonso, Santa Ana, Santa Clara, Santo Domingo, Taos, Tsuki, Zuni, and Zia. We come from our ancestral tongues and languages of fire and water, language of earth and the three sisters, language of no borders, no fences, no cages, no prisons, language of land back and Black Lives Matter, no ban on books. We are the serpent's tongue, the tongue of the borderlands, the original laughter of our children. We come from tongues of the many people, of love and language personified. I come from, you come from, we come from, de donde yo soy. Thank you. Wasn't Sally? Real life story, we were detained at an ice station once together. We'll tell you that later. You were there. Not Damien, they took his ass off. That's another story. He ain't here right now either. I can say that shit in the mic.
That's a poetry road trip. Oh, you know how you have those road trips and you have those bumps in the road?
That was
my Sally right there.
So this is mi novio, Alex. Yeah. He's my favorite musician.
On Word is Right.
Yes, we met on an online writing open mic that Marisa hosted, and I was like, who's that boo right there? And then I asked, I was like, hey, I hope you can teach me Spanish. But I was saying that to Marisa, and I said it to the whole goddamn,
It was beautiful. I think it's still on the live on YouTube somewhere.
Yeah, oh shit. Okay, thanks, Marisa. La Malinche is my next door neighbor. She sometimes smells her half-lit cherry-tipped cigarettes in my rose bushes, wild, crimson, and tangled green thorns spilling from my yard along the border of her yard and back again. I do not mind. I like the swagger of her hair, and when it snows, the way she walks barefoot in the dusted over ash-like whiteness as if she approaches the lip of some volcan, a deity sacrificial offering, and not just checking her afternoon mail, as mundane as the rest of us. La Malinche is my next door neighbor, and she left her husband, or he left her, who cares? But we're both glad he's gone. Conqueror, territorial land whore, abuser, whiplash tongue, Eurocentric son of a motherless goat bastard. La Malinche is my next door neighbor, and she taught me how to cuss in Spanish, how to use my spit like the poison it is meant to be. One fine Sunday, I dropped by to have some tea, and she walked about her house, nude, a glowing stone, nipples like brown saucers. Ay, Dios. Cupid throne, una masi ferna. She anointed me with the oil of rose, and the steam rose and rose and rose from the slumbering coil of her sweeping hair. Sometimes she looks at me, y'all, in this peculiar way, eyes ablaze as two gold discs, two fiery suns, a mantle of stars woven into stems, cornea, lens, and rod. I do not mind. I am not afraid. I want to warm myself every day against the small bonfires of her mouth. So, La Malinche is my next door neighbor. Every day, that shadow woman braids my hair, her serpent tongue licking the strands, darting in and out of those corded knots. La Malinche is my BFF, my road dog, my homegirl, my ride or die bitch, my Nahua Locura dream, my two-step partner, my grito howling boom woman. La Malinche is my next door neighbor. Sometimes she borrows money from me. Rent ain't free, you know, and her baby daddy don't come around here no more. But we prayed to La Virgen Morena con la scene for that small miracle. So there you go. And that fat baby of hers grows around her every day. His borderland patas flush, his mestizo purple scented lips drooling, only two chiclet-sized teeth in that whole white head of his. La Malinche is my next door neighbor, so of course I babysit for her. That's how homegirls do. And that baby is always hungry, voracious. I slip him slivers of dark chocolate orange rind with some of that sticky sweet still attached to the skin. We split a sweet tamal, and I fashion for him figurines from the discarded corn husks. His mom knows always, stained yellow with sweetgrass, will find the black orbs of his eyes, scarless but bottomless, a forever mestizo, the first of his kind, pobrecito, all that pressure, and then I give him milk, he laps it up with his small, pink, forked tongue. That boy is our angel, original, lactosa cosmica. Maliche is my next door neighbor. She lives in the painted lady with the pink roof. She attends CNN Community College and part-time studies linguistics. Go figure. La lengua, que es una india, de esta tierra, she ain't no victim. She ain't no traitor. She ain't no Rosetta Stone. She is the goddess of gravitas, one who speaks much and with liveliness, a survivor who works part-time at the doghouse off of Central, likes to go out dancing on Fridays, feeds her baby cinnamon-flavored blue corn mush, and sometimes dyes her hair blonde like those beachy güeras who live in the heights, and she is my best friend. She has been alive for 500 years and counting. She is the oldest, youngest person I know. She is eternal. She is existent. She is the mother of our siblings. La Malinche es una reina de las aceras, la rosa de el volcán. La Malinche is my next door neighbor. La espina, la sangre, el pelo, the thorn, the blood, the pepper.